some ways, at some point in your life, everybody can be a lost rider. Good morning and welcome to the second half of this week's News from the Camp House. We're here this morning with Mr. James Matlock. He is a candidate for the Railroad Commission. You know, we got a bunch of elections going on. There's a lot of stuff up in the air. The Railroad Commission is one of the state agencies that has conservation programs and is they're a big deal. They're really a big deal when you talk about conservation and you talk about the Permian Basin, you talk about the oil patch, you talk about, how do we control, all this stuff so that we, so we're good and clean and we do everything the way we're supposed to and everything's legal and everything's good. And Mr. Matlock what else would you like to fix? You've been in the oil patch, you said, 20 years, and you looked at this and you're seeing them wasting money on the flares and figure they can fix that, and it hasn't been fixed. And are there other, do you have a pocket full of issues you'd like to run on, or what do you think?
I do, and, the water issue is one of my biggest pet peeves as well, which last cycle in 24, I ran on recycling oil and gas wastewater for farm use.
Yes, sir.
And I was honored when our state legislature picked it up as a priority this session and passed bills that allows for the use of oil and gas waste.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have all these data centers coming in.
Right.
And they use upwards 300,000 to 5 million gallons of water a day.
Right.
Our aquifers cannot handle that.
Right.
So, in the oil and gas industry, we produce an average of 588 million gallons a day in wastewater that's typically injected back into the ground.
Right.
Plus, we bring water in from Louisiana to Texas. We bring it from New Mexico into Texas, and we're running out of pore space, so recycling the water just makes sense.
Right.
But at the same time, if we can use that water, if it's good enough for farm use, we can use it for the data centers and save our aquifers for our farmers.
Absolutely. All right, what's pushback? Why is that not happening?
I'm not sure. I co-authored a resolution that has already passed the SREC, the State Republican Executive Committee, and with a very high margin, I think it was a 59-6 vote in favor of the resolution that would actually require the data centers to use oil and gas waste. It would require them to kind of follow along with the oil field mentality of digging reserve pits. And, having the water stored there on site, recirculate the water. And, I'm looking forward. I've got a couple of state reps who have said they would pick it up and try to champion it, during special session or, after everybody's sworn in 27.
Okay. All right. All right. You want me to inject a little bit of something here? I can tell you part of the problem. The general public is okay. They may not be okay with it, but they have accepted that residentially in urban areas, water goes from toilet to tap. That water gets recycled and used over and over and over again. And the general public is either not aware of this or they just don't care because it's been happening and they don't see the ill effects. When they look at industrial water, And frack water, the anti-fracking crowd made such an impact that everybody's a little bit afraid, even if that was all false, phony stuff. And we have pointed it out time and time again how phony all the anti-fracking stuff was. Even that being the point, it made an impact on the public. And right now the public is a little bit nervous about recycling industrial water. They have a hard time with trusting the state, any agency, anybody with the water technology that industrial water can be recycled. And it's a matter of gaining public trust, and it's a matter of doing that job correctly. All right?
Yes, sir.
So
you're absolutely correct.
That's kind of where we sit at this. We need to let the public know that the technology is there and that we can do this. But then we got to do it right. We can't screw it up.
Well, and there needs to be testing for the water before it is put on any farmland or anything like that. You have the forever chemicals and things like that we need to keep out of our food supply.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we can clean it up and get it clean. We just need to make sure that those in charge of recycling are not taking shortcuts to increase profit margin.
Right. Yes, that's exactly correct. And that's going to be a tough sell. But I mean, it can be done. No, absolutely. But yes. Time will force it.
Yes.
So, all right. And you've had your fingers in this water process technologies, being in the oil patch for a while.
Yes, sir. I've spent a lot of time working with the saltwater disposals, trucking on the completion side, the frac side, all of that. So, the water has always been a big part of my 20-year career in the industry.
All right. Okay, so you ran against Christy Craddock. What are you doing different this time running against Jim Wright? How are you trying to get your numbers up?
I'm getting more invites to come out, speak at different events. Next week, I'll be on the road, Waco, Killeen, San Antonio, Floresville, and then Lubbock, Andrews, and back to Canton, Texas. About 2,300 miles total next week, and still, trying to make changes that would benefit Texans.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to point something out here too to my listeners is, you don't necessarily have to be mad at the person you're running against. You just think you just want to go make a difference yourself.
Exactly. And that was my thing last year. Somebody asked me what I had against Christy. I was like, I've never met Christy. I can't speak ill of her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a lot of the things she votes on. I don't like a lot of her votes. So let's talk about that. That's the main thing. And there's a project over here in East Texas that the company has 72 violations. They've been operating without a permit for 2 years, I think, a valid permit.
Uh-huh.
And two of the current commissioners voted to go ahead and issue a permit, even though the discrepancies had not been resolved. And, we need to make sure that, if they have issues, they need to get them fixed in a timely manner.
Okay. Yes. No, it's, yeah, I understand. That's certainly, yes, you could see where that would be a pertinent thing. Do you see where some of these agencies need more overlap, need to work together? I've always looked at all these agencies that have conservation programs, and I just shake my head because they, like TCEQ, would not the Railroad Commission have a very close relationship with TCEQ?
You would think, but just like on the water quality for releasing into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
The premise, the requirements from Railroad Commission TCEQ are, there's a broad range in there. And, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm working with several precinct chairs and county chairs to draft another resolution. I think so. The Railroad Commission is the state's permitting regulatory oversight agency for the oil and gas pipeline and mining industries. It has absolutely nothing to do with the rail anymore since 2005.
Right.
And, we're working on a resolution that would change the name of the Railroad Commission to Texas Department of Energy and Natural Resources.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would maintain the three commissioners on top. But then we would, we're trying to roll in TCEQ, PUC, and Texas Water Development Board, all these others that have to do with the natural resources and energy, and get them all under one umbrella so we can cut out some of the bureaucracy and make it more of a
streamline it.
Network, if you will.
Put everybody in the same room and streamline the decision making.
Exactly.
All right. James, we're out of time, but man, I really appreciate you visiting with us this morning.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, thanks, sir. All right. Tell you what, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed this morning. Maybe learned a little bit. Know there's people out there. With the right stuff in their heart trying to fix stuff. So, all right. This weekend's edition was also brought to us by Shaw's Bend Social Club, country club folks who don't have a country club. Now, go out, enjoy the weekend, have a lot of fun, be safe, and y'all just remember, pretty much any day is sure a good day to be out in the woods.